We're joined today from Italy by Edoardo Genzolini. He's the author of the new book, Teenage Wasteland, The Who at Winterland, 1968 and 1976. Edoardo, how's it going today?
I'm fine, thanks.
I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks to you for having me.
You've got a new book out, Teenage Wasteland, The Who at Winterland, 1968, 1976. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new book?
Yeah, so this is my second book on The Who that I made. So the fact that makes it different from the first one is that I wanted to focus on the San Francisco Bay Area performances of the band, and particularly on the two Winterland string of shows, because they did 2 nights in February there, and then in March, 2 nights in March 76. And by chronicling the Who in San Francisco, I wanted to show the growth as a band from pop art, underground phenomenon to stadium rock band in a way. And I thought that rather than tackling more ordinary chronological approach, I thought one way to do so, which could hopefully be more efficient and catchier, maybe, could be by focusing on the appearances that they made at Winterland, one almost 10 years apart from the other. And there's a reason for that. So what I found interesting and relevant, at least symbolically, is that Winterland is the only venue from the Bill Graham's Fillmore scene that really survived the 70s, and particularly it's the only venue that in San Francisco in which the Who played twice, all these years apart, and that's part of the same production, which is of course Bill Graham's. And I thought that a detailed focus on those shows could help maybe fleshing out the changes within the band from 68 to 75, to 76, I'm sorry. So I really hope that comes out from the book.
Definitely. Well, could you talk a bit about putting the book together? Obviously, you're a big fan of The Who, but the amount of research and the work you've put into this book, it's a whole other level, I think.
Yeah, I must say that I have managed to lay my hands on stuff in terms of archival material. So this means tapes, negatives, slides, which is the first time that they're displayed. So it all dates back to when I was really a teenager and lover of both of the San Francisco scene of that time, to which Bill Graham, of course, contributed to make, and my other passion, which is the Who, of course. And I really wanted to combine these 2 dimensions. And so I started to look for material which wasn't online and in books, of course, only because I really felt that there was something really relevant and important about those San Francisco dates of the Who, which really hadn't been properly covered and tackled. So I felt that, and I decided to go there deeply, and of course I found out that there was even more than I expected. For instance, I discovered a tape which contains the only live version of "I Can See for Miles" with Keith Moon, and that's from the night before the first Winterland performance. So I found negatives which display the band in a rather rare and unique manner. I mean, private shots. I mean, taken inside the Continental Lodge, which used to be a place where which artists which performed at Bill Graham's places used to stay overnight in between shows, and so very intimate shots and also very unique information, I must say, provided by the Who's closest friends, such as Rick Chapman, which in fact had just become Pete Townshend's friend. And so they helped provide in the book information about those really magical nights in San Francisco. So yeah, readers will find stuff that hasn't appeared anywhere before. Yeah, so that's basically it.
Yeah, definitely would say, even if you're a huge fan of The Who, the photos that you have in the book, a lot of these have never been seen before. And again, the information you put in is incredible. Edoardo Genzolini's with us. We're talking about his book, Teenage Wasteland, The Who at Winterland, 1968 and 1976. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but the 76 tour was really the last tour for The Who as a whole, I guess, right. With Keith Moon. So that was an important one for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And particularly, those two shows at Winterland are described both by Pete Townsend and by Bill Graham as the last best shows of The Who. And Pete addresses those two particular shows in a letter to a fan, which I reproduced in the book. And also Bill Graham, which obviously had seen millions of bands performing, recalled those particular two shows as two of the finest that were held at Winterland. So yeah.
Well, The Who has retired and reformed and broke up, so many times since the early 80s. Are you surprised that Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend are still out there on the road off and on all these years later?
I do, because especially in consideration of their line, I hope I die before I get old. So I guess they went over that and beyond all expectations, So yeah, and I'm sure they're amazed by that too. So yeah, well, I'm definitely more focused on the Keith Moon era of the band, and which is absolutely incredible in more ways than one.
Well, Edoardo, you're in Italy, obviously. How big and how important are The Who in Italy? Is it like one of the big bands over there? I know they've toured there before, but not as much.
No, yeah. Well, Italy doesn't really deserve The Who, and Italy in the 70s has been very much into prog and that area of rock, and has always disregarded The Who. They were not perceived as good as they have been in the US or in other countries. So yeah, in Italy they played here only four time. I mean, the fourth one was sometime last year. So I remember when I went buying the CDs of The Who when I was 15 or 16, I went into the record stores here, and in some ways I had to explain who The Who were, because they were not so known. I mean, it was really pretty embarrassing in some ways, because I had already seen them in the Woodstock film, and I thought that they had to be recognized and known worldwide in the same way for what they were. So it really surprised me when I bumped into people or the record store owners who really didn't know who they were, and I felt that was so weird. And so this is the relationship of The Who with Italy. Pretty weird one, actually.
You're definitely doing your part to get the word out there with the new book. Again, Teenage Wasteland is just out here. But is there another book or something else you might be working on here coming up?
Well, I have a couple of projects I'm sitting on right now. Yeah, there's still an embryonic stage of editing. I'm working on an expanded and an updated edition of my previous Cream book, which is also about Cream in San Francisco.
Okay.
And so I have a couple of projects coming up, but I guess they won't see the light day before 1 or 2 years. So I'm I'm trying to concentrate right now on this Teenage Wasteland title and to share it and to make it appreciated by as many people as possible. And I'm really, really glad to be hosted by your program here, because you definitely are helping me with that. So thanks really for this.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate your time, and the book is great. And
yeah, and I'm also very happy that the Who managed to recognize the book as it is and decided to promote it and to review it via their website and via their social media, which of course was great. There are really no words for it. It really felt as a great accomplishment. So
definitely. Well, again, Edoardo, thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can speak again sometime.
Thanks very much to you for having me.
And again, that was Edoardo Genzolini, and his new book, Teenage Wasteland, The Who at Winterland, 1968 and 1976, is available now.